Welcome to my community on Afrocentric Television Channel 15.8. This is a station that revolves around the Africans in diaspora, and we bring to you what's happening in the Houston area as a start. Today we will be talking to one of our guests. I would say one person that is bringing our culture and tradition in the form of language to our children here in the United States. Her name is Tiwa Ajeigbe. Tiwa Ajeigbe is this is fascinating because she is not a linguist like most people would assume. She is a process engineer by profession, right? Yes. And then she has a BSc in chemical engineering and a master's. You have an MBA, and yes. But you so. Anyway, welcome to the show, first of all. I'm just ready to get into it because teaching Yoruba. Yes. And by the way, she is the founder of Yoruba for Kidz. The Kidz is with a Z at the end. So Yoruba for Kidz. So I'm just so excited and ready to talk to her and to dive deep into this. Yeah. Welcome, Tiwa.
Thank you very much, Kala.
Tiwa, you, as a process engineer, how were you able to transition to being a professional process engineer and then a linguist at the same time?
Well, I still practice process engineer. I mean, I go to work every day. I still work my full-time job, 9 to 5. But the Yoruba for Kids is something I do in addition to that. I started to get into this whole idea for Yoruba for Kids because of my kids. I've got 3 kids.
Nice.
And the first 2, we would speak Yoruba at home, and we would get, just between my husband and I, just speak Yoruba regularly at home. And we just thought sometime that, these kids might understand what we're saying eventually, but they never would be able to
speak it.
So in looking around in the communities around us, we just thought, okay, my Indian friends, they would speak and then their children would respond.
This is Houston in a way, and it's the most diverse city in the whole of the United States.
Yes.
We have the Indian community, the Asian in general community. We have the Hispanic community. You will rarely hear them speak to themselves in English. They speak in their local dialects. But we as Africans, I don't know, we speak Oyinbo to our children.
So exactly. So most of the time I found myself, whenever I spoke to my husband, I would speak Yoruba, and automatically when I turned to the kids, I would just switch to English. Being in a
my dad does that when it comes to Yoruba and Ilaje. That was how we were able to understand Yoruba. I haven't been to Ondo State. My parents are from Ondo, Ilaje precisely. Never been there, but went there for the first time for a wedding to Akure in 2017. However, in my home, my father would speak Yoruba to us. I would speak Ilaje to us plainly. Ilaje only. But if he turns around to our friends, he'll speak to them in English and plain Yoruba. And we wonder, this man's switch is just like that. So we picked up from there. And I think that's really beautiful what you're doing.
So, as a result of that, I said, you know what, I have to be more intentional about passing this language across to the kids. So we started out with the kids and then, spoke to a couple of friends just like you and I are talking, and they were super excited about it too. That, you're right, we should be more intentional. If you look into all these other communities, they have classes, they have materials. If you look on YouTube, they have things. And when you look for us, while we are trying to learn, we didn't have a lot. There were some people doing some things, but we didn't have things that I'll be like, okay, this is your letters, this is your
materials that we can reference to.
There weren't a lot, and there weren't a lot that they got excited about. So
getting excited about things like this is something, because I remember back in elementary school, high school, it's not cool speaking Yoruba.
Yes.
You know, in school.
Yes.
If you have to speak English, if you speak Yoruba, they'll think you're a
Raz. Exactly.
You know?
So we grew up in that era, you know. I don't know if our parents did, but in our own time, we grew up in a time that they would call Yoruba vernacular. You know, and they actually, even in
and as a class captain, I'm guilty. They use me to write people up for speaking vernacular. My language.
Can you imagine?
So that was, you know, those of you that have offended back in elementary and high school, I was class captain.
Yes.
And I always write people up. Although I'm lenient, but I write people up anyway
for
speaking their own language.
Yes. So yeah, so those were, I think, that the seeds that they had planted in us when we were growing up to make us feel inferior for speaking our language, right? So a lot of people grew up thinking, you know, I'd rather learn another language that is more acceptable, English, French, Spanish, than learn a heritage, which is you. You know, our heritage is us. As heritage is our history. And once you lose history, you lose who you are, you know.
And that's why America will never joke, even onto college level. History is a prerequisite. You must take history.
You know, so
it does not matter if you're studying medicine or whatever. You must study history. And that we are missing in Africa.
Yes, and our language is a part of the history, the culture is a part of the history, and that is how you are able to tell your own story. You know, no matter if you're first generation heritage people, second generation, third generation, it's all who you are.
Come to think of it, Tiwa, if growing up, when we start as kids, right, you would see us very smart children, but when they start growing up, when they fit into the community, they start teaching them things in English, and they have difficulty understanding this. But you realize when they grow older, when they now have the full understanding of English language, they do better. And that's why they transition to the United States or to any other English-speaking country in the Western world, and they're able to succeed. Even they even become better than those that own the language themselves. A lady in my church, Sister Chika, she is an English professor, and it's funny when she said the whole school authority, they were mocking the other teachers because how can a foreigner whose second language is English is doing better and their students is scoring highest scores over every one of you else that are naturally English speaking people. It's amazing when we grab a hold of something. We know it.
And we master
it.
And we are capable of doing it.
And I'm thinking, in my little way, that's what you're doing with this Yoruba thing.
We are trying to make sure that people who are interested, now not everybody is going to be interested in connecting with their past, connecting with their culture, connecting with their history and heritage. But the people who are interested in being able to learn, even from birth, they have access to the materials. They have access to things that they're able to use, and modern things too. You know,
what are these resources you have? What are these resources you have for it?
We all know everybody's on YouTube constantly, right? So we know that, you know, a lot of resources that people are finding are on our mobile phones, they're on our laptops, you know, and some people still use books. So the types of resources that we provide are music videos, sing-along videos.
Oh my God, I can still sing from Jello Simi, like elementary school or kindergarten. I can still sing songs from those. Oh my goodness.
You know, like, you know, Ojoro, but you see, you don't want to sing it in a way that the kids will not get excited about. You know, especially these days, people like cool stuff.
I know.
So it could be in the form of a nursery rhyme, simple, you know.
Nice. So these are the materials you have.
And some of them are even original songs. For instance, our 1, 2, 3 song. We have a 1, 2, 3 song. We have an ABC song. When I was doing a research around, and I was like, ask our parents, ask people from even the university. I have connection. I've linked up with some of these people. So we said, do we have any number song that we can use to learn the Yoruba language? You know, any, you know, any be any, but it doesn't take you all the way. Yes, wow. It doesn't take you all the way. But we now said, you know what? I want something that is easier than that. That will be able. So we created our own song.
Wow.
So we now have a song that is on YouTube and is on our website that you can use to learn the Yoruba language.
Sure we'll play it at the end of this interview. Yes. You guys look out for it.
Yes. So we have songs, we have games, right, that we've developed. We have books, like hard copy books and soft copy books, audio books. And then we also have recipes for young people to be able to learn how to make eba, to make stew.
In Yoruba?
Well, the recipes are in English, but it is, the reason we do the recipes in English is so that they can say, I'm taking something and making it that is connected to the Yoruba culture. So
it's a cultural thing.
The cultural aspect of it. But our music videos are in Yoruba, our songs are in Yoruba, our games are in Yoruba, but we try to make a lot of things bilingual because we don't want people to be inundated with feeling like,
it makes sense.
If I don't know how to, if I don't have anybody that speaks Yoruba in my culture or in my surrounding, I cannot interpret this, right? So we want parents of second generation, third generation people who don't even have anybody.
And they're doing foreign exchange. Foreign exchange students are actually, that's something the United States is doing that I love. They'll have their students from over here go to places like Nigeria to learn their culture. Is it the Ifa culture, the Ogun, the language also, the how we make this, how we make that, things like that.
So we are trying to create like a foundation for people. So for us, we're not so much also focusing only on just the language. We're also focusing on community development, right? So I always say, I have, like, for my kids, they go to school and they come back and sometimes they tell us, you know, I never hear anything positive about, you know, our history. You know, a lot of it is obviously African American history, you know, that they teach them. And so sometimes it's very dejected. They say everything is about slavery. You know, you know, and I'm like, you know what is interesting? That is the history, and it's important to capture that. But we also have the African history where there are kings and there, you know, so there is a lot for them to understand.
They don't tell them that the richest king that's ever reigned is an African.
Yes. So there's a lot for us to impart in these kids. And so the community development where they come together and feel like, I know, so in my classes now, and I forgot to mention, we also do, we have face-to-face camps that we have here in Texas, in Houston, where we have children gather together, and it's open to everyone. We hope that
I hope I was going to ask, are there age restrictions to people that can learn, you know, using the materials that you have?
Okay, so our materials are geared towards 0 to 21, right? Initially, we started out at 0 to 12. We are developing materials specifically for that age, but we started to get a lot of interest in people wanting to learn. They were like, oh, what happened to we teenagers? What happened to we adults? So we're trying to make sure that our market serves, you know. We don't want to go too much into the adults because we want to focus on developing the
ground roots
from the ground and the roots up. So we expanded some of the materials to 21, but for most part, our main target is 0 to 12, where we have these music videos, these games that they would enjoy to play, you know, games about the days of the week.
Do you have
puzzles.
Apps?
So we are in the process of developing an app right now. It's actually very close to being done. So next year, the app will be
2020.
2020.
Yes, ma'am.
Super excited about that. So our app is going to be released in 2020. We are going to also launch an online class because, again, a lot of people find out that they may not have time to go for the physical class.
Which makes sense.
They might not have time for, of course, people living outside of Texas not be able to. So we want to open that up.
I want to ask though, the camp. Do you have something for summer? What is the duration also? How long does each session last?
So the best way to find out about camps is to go to the website because again I'm still a full professional and I'm working, and also parents get really busy. We don't do the camps all throughout the year.
Gotcha.
So it's best for us, but we do try to do camps every quarter. So most of the time we will have something spring camp, and that's why we call it camps, because it's not it's not lesson. We don't have a lesson format. We don't have a structured school format. We do it in camps, and the camps are based on themes, right? So for instance, this camp might be based on Ileiwe, right? And maybe week 1 we'll talk about
the school.
How do you greet a friend when they first get to school? Bawoni, and then Shalafiani. And then our next one we can talk about items in the school, your pencil, your table, your chairs, and then they learn those words. So when you learn in a theme format, you are able to tie everything together. So that's, I remember when we learned about chairs in the school.
I know.
And how to greet my friends. It always clicks for the kids. And so they're doing extremely well, the campus that we have.
One of the ways I got my children enjoy, say Spanish, is we buy materials, like CD, like they have bunny, and things like that. Are there materials like that, like video CDs? Video,
well, we don't have physical video CDs, again, because a lot of our CDs these days, people just throw in the back of the room, so we are making it available online. So we have the
Well, unfortunately, when you're driving long distance and the children have,
the app will have those songs.
Okay,
yes.
That's
so
good.
Our apps have songs, lessons, video, songs, lessons, the recipes, audiobooks that you can, and games,
Super.
right, that they can use. And then now we are developing crossword puzzles and printable materials that people can say,
that will get them engaged.
That you can print, and then you can just, these are numbers.
Because I remember when you take children to restaurants, they give them those puzzles to solve, and they're in English anyway.
The whole works.
And we can start doing that in African restaurants too. We can start handing it out to them, so they start teaching our children.
Very true. I like that idea.
I think it's about time we took whatever it is we had.
Yes.
Back then, and we embed it in the lives of our children now.
Yes.
That way they don't just understand English. It's a diverse world now. It's the world is so large yet so small. I remember, like I was telling you a while back, that I was in Chad and they speak French. I didn't know, well, I understand a little based on my French teacher back then, but I don't understand most of the things they say, right? And they don't understand English either. So it was difficult. So I had to have a translator with me at all times. But it's a global community now. We need to be able to understand ourselves to communicate better, because communication is key, right, to understanding. But if you're trying to communicate with me, you wonder sometimes, how did the Spanish people that you meet here, how did they get to the United States sometimes? Do they speak a word of English? They do. They may understand what you're saying, but they don't know how to speak it.
Or respond, yes.
If only, especially the Yoruba, now that we understand Yoruba, this is Yoruba. And by the way, this is Ojo Ijakpa Mura.
Ojo.
Is it Ojo Ijakpa? There's no dot underneath.
There's no dot
under.
See.
Ojo Ijakpa is the name of.
And that's his name.
I flunked that.
It's kind of like Mickey Mouse. Or
Mickey Mouse is now Ojo Ijakpa.
No. I'm saying that the concept is kind of like how you have Mickey Mouse. He's a mouse, but his name is Mickey. Peppa Pig is a pig, but his name is Pepper. And this is Ojo
and is an Ijakpa.
Yes, so Ojo Ijakpa. So Ojo Ijakpa, you're going to see a lot of Ojo Ijakpa. This is one of the first of many of Ojo Ijakpa.
Nice.
And this is one that.
And we have it in video also.
We have this in audio, and this is going to be coming along with the app.
When are you going to should develop this in video also?
In video, I would love to do that. So, these materials definitely cost a lot of money. Right now, we're still kind of self-funded. So materials are coming out a little bit slower than, this is why I have to stay working. You know, they're coming out a little slower, but by, you know, hopefully by God's grace, if once we expand and we become more known and we're able to even get sponsors, that way we're able to even get this bigger.
And I think it should be something that should be incorporated in the in curriculums.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're trying to make this international standard so that if anybody sees this, they're able
the
to
quality
say,
is awesome anyway.
Thank you so much. And you know, there is Ojo Ijapa, and we're trying to, you know, make him a household name.
Ojo
You know, to where
Ijapa.
kids can learn. And again, this book is bilingual, so that children
so they can read it in English,
yes,
and translate to Yoruba.
And translate to Yoruba. Where I'm taking my bath, they know what they're saying.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Oshe, Omi, Coin, soap, water, sponge.
And sponge.
And at the back of all our books, we tend to have like a vocabulary section to where you would see that
Ara
is
body,
so
Asho is clothes, the day stand up for is brush,
yes,
John eats, G wake up,
yes.
coin sponge, Mura get ready.
No, it's why. Yes, so
wow.
there. So we fixed that, and the kids are able to not only use this material on their own, even if they don't have an adult to interpret, but they can also, if they do have access to someone who speaks Yoruba, they can go and ask. And the audiobook will help them to know what it sounds like.
This is beautiful.
Thank you so much.
This is beautiful. Thank you so much.
I'm super excited about it. And I get
so
so
am I.
passionate.
So we talked about all these things now. How can one get a copy? How can, if people need to reach you for, say, I know you said something, but you have a website.
Yes.
You have social media handles?
We do.
So you want to tell us how we can reach you?
So you can get our books on Amazon.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, it's available on Amazon. It's actually available on most online stores because we use a distributor to get our books to everywhere.
Nice.
So this is in the UK, this is in Australia, on Amazon Australia, on all the Amazon outlets, even Walmart. You can order from Walmart online. You can order from pretty much just Google the book, and you should be able to find the closest place to you. Now we actually also have it in Lagos in a bookstore called Little Big Company. The Little Big Company in Lagos. And we're trying to get it to more stores out there in Lagos so that people in Lagos.
This is nice.
Thank you very much. And our website is called Yoruba for Kids. www.yorubaforkids with a Z, not with an S.
So Yoruba is YORUBAFORKIDZ as in zebra. .com. Okay.
YorubaForKids.com. And our social media handle is Yoruba for Kids, Yoruba space for Kids, is on the YouTube and on Instagram, Facebook, Yoruba for Kids.
Oh, one word.
At Yoruba for Kids.
Nice.
Yes, so I hope you guys follow us.
Of course, we do best believe. I'm super excited, and I hope someone will come up also with the Igbo version of this, and
we're
also
on that too. That's
Hausa version and different languages are spoken in Africa. This is going to be lovely, and I think we need it for this day and age, so we don't lose our children to the Western world. We're almost lost, so we shouldn't lose ours.
We're bringing it back. They're excited. The kids are. We are hoping we're going to be able to do a fun extravaganza sometime in the spring where we can have people come in and some of our campus
I can still resonate with the songs, man.
Yes, our songs and we have a lot of original songs, so I hope that you guys get on that.
Even we adults can actually do that. We have fun with it sometimes.
Yes, and learn some of our really fun songs.
Awesome. It's been nice.
Thank you.
Tiwa, thank you so much for what you're doing, for the sacrifices you're making. I pray and I hope it all works out for you and for us, the Yoruba people around the globe. Stay tuned, don't touch the dial. We will be right back with some more. But in the meantime, go subscribe to our channel at Afrocentric TV. On YouTube, you can follow us on, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Afrocentric Television. And follow also Tiwa Ajeigbe's page, business page for Yoruba for Kids. And it's Yoruba YORUBA space 4FOR space again KIDZ. YouTube. Subscribe.
Yes.
Also on Instagram and Facebook, you can find her Yoruba for Kids.
Yes.
Stay tuned, don't touch the dial. We'll be right back.
Hi guys, I wrote a book. And it's a Yoruba book and it's a kids book. I'm super excited, so I decided to introduce it to you. It's called Ojo Ijapa Mura. It is a great book. I started to research into doing this when I was looking for something to do for the kids to help them to learn Yoruba, and there was just not enough stuff out there to get them interested. So I decided to start creating resources, and this is the first of many. I am so excited. I hope you are going to be excited too, and you're going to love it. So go on Amazon, go on Barnes & Nobles. It's available on most online major retail outlets. I hope you love it. I hope you buy it, and I hope you come back with great reviews. But go ahead and give me your feedback. I can't wait to hear from you. Thanks. Hi, my name is Tiwa, and I am the CEO and founder of Yoruba for Kids, and I am Afrocentric.
Hi everyone, my name is Dawn Rogers, and I want to give you a little bit of information about getting your vote out. First off, please check to make sure that you are registered to vote. You can go to www.hctax.net. That's www.hctax.net. On that website, you can put in your name and your address and confirm if you are actually registered to vote in Harris County. Then I want you to take a look at what you can do to become registered to vote. If you are not already registered to vote, you can go to www.hctax.net and register. Fill out the form and mail it back in. The phone number to dial with any questions is 713-274-VOTE. That's 713-274-8683. If, however, you're unable to go to a precinct and vote, then you may want to look into voting by mail. There are 4 different qualifications to be able to vote by mail. If you are 65 and older, if you are in another county, if you are confined in jail but without a felony, and if you have a disability, you are eligible to vote by mail. Again, go to www.hctax.net for more information.
Welcome back to my community on Afrocentric Television, channel 15.8. As y'all know, this is the station that brings about what happens to we Africans, African Americans, and the Caribbeans in diaspora, right? But today we're in Houston. Of course, we're always in Houston anyway. This is our home. And because of that, we are bringing to you today one of the crucial things I think you need to know. Your vote is your power. Right? It's your civic duty. You have to do it. But voting for the right candidate is one thing. You know, for you to vote is one, but voting for the right candidate is another. You know how it is. Even in Africa, we have bad leadership, and this is the result of the people that voted him or her in. Now we want to talk to one of our candidates for the Harris County 334th District Court Judge. Her name is Dawn Rogers.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for the opportunity.
Dawn.
Yes.
I was privileged to meet you about a week ago. It was a community-based event. Yes. And then they were talking to the likes of Tiffany Thomas, Raj, you know, for those councilmen and stuff.
Yes.
However, you came and you made a statement right there. To me, you did make a statement. You were not discriminatory, or you immediately spoke to everyone. You mingled. You told them what you were about. That was humbling, right?
Thank you.
And I like to see someone that will be in a position as the one you're running for. To be that way, someone people will feel comfortable relating to. Why did you choose to run for this particular office?
Well, I have been a resident of Harris County my entire life. My family is here in Houston. I've been an attorney for 17 years.
Yay.
Graduating from Thurgood Marshall on TSU's campus.
So you must have a lot of Africans as friends.
I do actually have quite a few Africans that I met in law school.
Awesome.
And just outside of law school in this world called life, working as an attorney. So I'm very comfortable with the African community. I saw the posting that there was going to be a community forum, and obviously I wanted to use that as an opportunity to learn more about the African community, because I can't purport to know everything, right?
Right.
And so I want to actually talk to individuals. I wanted to hear what individuals who are part of that community are dealing with and some of the concerns that they may have, because I feel like that's something that I can bring with me to the bench.
See, what you just said says a whole lot about the person that I'm thinking you are, right? You heard about an event. It's like somewhat a closed-door event for Africans with, of course, the people that are doing the runoffs, right? And then you thought it's an avenue for you to understand, what's going on in the community. That way, when you get to the bench, you're not going to just, be judging based on your own perspective only, or premeditated judgment, something like that.
Well, and I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
but
please.
You hit the nail on the head. I have been privy and privileged to have met several cultures throughout my life. It's not difficult to me. Part of what you were saying is when you observed me at the meeting that I was going around and introducing myself to people and talking. I mean, that's just who I am as a person. I enjoy people, and I enjoy learning about people, and I'm learning and listening about what they're going through. As an attorney, I feel like that's something that just needs to happen anyway, right? If I have a client and I'm representing that individual or that individual's business, then I think it is kind of good to have met their family, have met their co-workers or other people, and kind of observe their circle, and it kind of gives a little background to it. Now, obviously, as a judge, I wouldn't have that opportunity.
You don't have that time either.
I wouldn't have the time either, but that's part of the research, and that's part of the learning, and that's part of the listening that goes with any public office.
So now that you mentioned that, I'd like to go into my next question, which is, you are an attorney.
Yes, 17 years.
17 years. Yes. So you have experience. But being an attorney is quite different from being a judge.
You're correct.
Being an attorney, you work for and with your clients, right? You defend them nonetheless. So you represented being a defendant and plaintiff?
I have.
Yeah? So you quite understand what it is to be on both sides?
I have to, and I have. Coming out of law school, I was representing the state of Texas as an assistant attorney general.
Oh, wow.
And so I was doing quite a bit of defense work in that aspect. And when you are a recent graduate, you don't have any experience. You come straight from law school, you take the bar exam, and you're kind of sitting there like, now what? Well, I was fortunate enough to have been offered a position while I was still in school.
Wow.
And so when I graduated, when I took the bar, I knew I was moving to Austin. I knew that's what I was going to do. I got my bar results back, passed, boom, here's your trials, here's your cases, here's your docket. And so that was a rewarding opportunity, because I was in front of federal court judges from the Southern District here in Houston, all the way to the East, the North, the West districts.
Wow.
And you're presenting your cases, and you're picking juries, and you are performing voir dires, and you're doing all of this very technical stuff. And so that was a great learning experience for me. And of course, I had the mentorship of more experienced assistant attorney generals and chiefs So all of that helped get me to my next phase in life, which was coming back to Houston and working for another law firm that small had huge clients. And so now I'm doing depositions and I'm in mediations and arbitrations, and I'm really, really getting the hands-on experience that a book just wasn't able to teach me. And then that took me to my next phase, which was having my own law firm for a spell. And that's when I really got comfortable with doing both areas of law. When you have your own firm and you're meeting these clients, everyone has different needs. And so if I had an individual that wanted to sue someone, then that client, that plaintiff, I needed to take care of their needs, versus if I had a client that was being sued, I needed to take care of their needs. And I noticed in both of those situations, I was kind of pulling from my experiences in previous trials and previous practice areas, and allowing myself to kind of be a step ahead of the other side, you know, giving very candid advice as to why we may or may not lose. And I think that my clients were very happy about that. And that even goes into the practice areas that I'm in right now.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. So, you're running for anyway, let's say this is a courthouse, right?
Okay.
They have different courtrooms.
Yes.
But, you know, there's this trick right here. I remember trying to vote for the mayor. But because I don't live in the Houston area, I live in Katy. Though in Harris County, I live in Katy. I can't vote for the mayor, so I have to vote for the mayor of Katy,
Katy, yes.
right? However, that means I couldn't vote for Sylvester Turner. But you know, there was a little restriction with that one. With this one, what are there restrictions? Does it mean if I'm living in Harris County, but in Katy or Cypress, but in Harris County, does it mean I can't vote for someone like you?
Excellent question. You need to be a resident of Harris County. That's the restriction.
As long as you are within Harris County jurisdiction.
There you go. And so, and you know what, I'm glad you brought that up, because I actually brought with me a list of townships and little, you know, areas.
Awesome.
Because a lot of people, and this is what's been happening, and this is why, again, I enjoy going out and meeting people and speaking with folk, because it gives me some insight as to perhaps some gaps in understanding and knowledge. And aren't we all here to learn? Aren't we all? Isn't there always an opportunity to learn, right? So I would like to share this with you, and the list is not that long, but if you don't mind,
please go ahead.
These list of towns and cities that encompass Harris County, because everyone thinks that it's just Houston, and it's
you know, we mostly think that, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah. Let's
please.
go. Well, let's start Baytown.
All the way to Baytown?
There you go. Now, of course, you want to check your zip codes, because some of these townships may be on the borderline. But Baytown, Bellaire, Channelview, Crosby, Cypress, Deer Park, Galena Park, Highlands, Hockley. I didn't know about Hockley myself. I didn't know that. Of course, Houston.
Wow.
Huffman, Hufsmith, Tomball, Katy, Kingwood, Porte, Pasadena, Seabrook, South Houston, Spring, Tomball, Waller, and Webster.
All of those are within Harris County.
I looked it up, and I made a point to bring this because I didn't know if you were going to ask me the question.
Oh yeah, you better would ask, because I mean, because these are the things that you know, people feel like, oh, I like her attitude, I like her person, I like what she's bringing to the table. But unfortunately, I can't vote for her, because the last election for the mayors, I couldn't vote for certain people, and some councilmen, I couldn't vote for them just because I don't live within that, you know, jurisdiction or whatever. So, but as long as you're within those cities, check the borderline, your zip code. If it falls within Harris County,
you are
eligible to vote.
Yes, for 2020 elections, and voting, of course, for me in 2020. That is what I want people to know.
Awesome. So, we're going to get to that one.
Okay.
Right. So, I was saying earlier that in a courthouse, there are usually different dockets, different courtrooms, right? But yours, the one you're running for, is the 334th.
Yes.
334.
334.
Right.
Yes.
What happens in 334?
Well,
so what kind of cases come into 334?
Very good. So this is a civil district court. A lot of people are aware of the criminal courts, and a lot of people are aware of the family courts. The 334 is a civil district court, and we're handling cases that deal with breach of contract. All of your disputes that are resolved with some kind of monetary reward, right? So when you think about criminal court, you think about perhaps your freedoms being lost. When you think about your family courts, you think about obviously issues that are dealing with your children or divorce or what have you. The civil district courts take care of everything else in between. The jurisdictional limits are very high, so it's different from your JP court. It's different than your county court in that you can have a jurisdictional range that you're suing for anywhere from 10,000 all the way up into the multi-millions, depending on the type of case and what you're suing for. And so people need to understand that, be it insurance claims and you were underpaid or you weren't paid at all.
Those happens a lot.
It happens a lot. Obviously, your personal injury suits, car accidents, you know, again, breach of contract is a biggie because a lot of people are involved in a contract either with the business or even with a friend or a peer, and the contract wasn't satisfied. Well, then the courtroom that I am running for would be the courtroom that would hear those types of issues. Another thing that people aren't aware of is that expunctions are heard in this particular court. And so even though the underlying case was a criminal case, you can still apply for an expunction in my particular courtroom or in the courtroom that I'm running for, which is the 334th.
Bravo, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So there's a lot of practice areas, but I'd like people to think about it. If you are looking for a courtroom that will pertain to your freedoms, that's a criminal courtroom. And if you're looking for a courtroom that will pertain to your family and your rights with regard to your family, that's your family courts. And then the courtroom that I am running for is going to deal with basically everything in between. Wow. Which is a lot.
So thanks for that, for educating us, right? Because some of us just don't know all of this. I go to a courthouse, right? I'm faced with a judge. The judge probably look at me and, you know, probably have their own misconception, whatever.
Why do you say that?
It happens.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying me. I'm just using myself as an instance, right? You know, probably because of my accent or something, you know, something different. I just don't like them just because, you know what I mean? And there are laws, right? And it has to be followed. No one is above it anyway.
No.
So now you judge me and I feel like I have a better case. I mean, I am not guilty, I'm innocent. I mean, I'm supposed to be a winner. But in some cases, I've seen, you know, your kind of person from talking to you the first time we met, actually. I felt like there's something different you're bringing to the table. Or like everybody should feel like a winner, regardless of the outcome of the case.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be, you know, don't let me use the word misjudged.
Yes, that's the word you're looking for. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I don't want to be misjudged, but I still feel like there's something. So what are you going to be bringing to the table differently?
You know what? This is what, and I'm able to use my own experience, and I'm able to use the experience of my clients that I've represented. There are a lot of biases that we as a people have. One thing that you want to make sure of, though, is that when you are presenting your case in front of a judge, you're not dealing with a judge that is relying on those biases or those prejudices in making that decision.
Right.
And again, sometimes it's in the subconscious. It's no one's doing it intentionally. Other times it is intentional. My goal is, and what I've worked on just throughout my life because of what I've experienced, is to make everything a level playing field. One person is not going to walk out of my courtroom feeling as though they're the underdog, that they've lost, or walk into the courtroom feeling as though they've lost before they've even had an opportunity to present their case. And sometimes you walk into a courtroom and you feel that environment, you look around, you see just a lot of people that look like they know what they're doing, talking fast, relationships with other people.
And probably feel intimidated.
And feeling very intimidated. And so as a judge, I would want to make everyone feel comfortable. I would want to make everyone feel as though they had their day in court. Think about it. If you are a plaintiff, or even if you're a defendant, and you are suing someone, you paid that filing fee, you've gone to an attorney, or you've done your research and you're representing yourself, yourself, whichever this case may be, you put time into this lawsuit.
Right.
You've made a decision that you feel that you are deserving of a particular remedy, and that you are going to use the avenues and the recourses available to you to pursue that remedy. Same thing if you're a defendant. You get a piece of paper, you get served, and now you've got to go and either hire an attorney or do your research to defend yourself against that case. You want to make sure that all of that work, all of that money, all of that time is not wasted. And you want to make sure that the person that you're talking to is someone who is actually giving you a shot, giving you a chance. Now, the law is the law. You already said that. And, you know, there are certain things that are within a judge's discretion. There's a lot of statutes and case law that provide for judicial discretion. But at the end of the day, it is black letter law that we are relying on. If, in fact, you walk out of the courtroom, and I hate to use the word a loser, but you walk out of the courtroom not getting the result that you hoped
expected, yeah.
At least if you walk out of the court, you want to feel as though, no, I didn't get the result I wanted, but at least I felt I was heard. At least I feel like I had my day in court. At least I feel like my money wasn't wasted, my time wasn't wasted, and she taught me something. She being me. And if I can use any and every opportunity to, if nothing else, mentor, provide advice, provide suggestions, inspire.
As to what you can do better.
As to what you can do better, listen, you know, and this is another thing that I've had to deal with as an attorney, and it's very frustrating. When you do put forth your all and you get a ruling that you're not happy with, and you're just wanting to know, you know, the basis of that ruling.
What happened?
And sometimes you don't get that answer. Sometimes you don't get the answer. I would not want to run a court like that. That's another reason why I'm wanting to run. I'm wanting to make sure that if an individual is unhappy with the ruling, that we can have that conversation. Now, again, time is of essence, but I feel as though if I'm doing my job along the way and helping explain why things aren't the way you believe they should be, and here's the case law and here's the statute to support it, that should be, you know, give you some kind of satisfaction and hope in knowing that it wasn't because of how you look, it wasn't because of how you're dressed, it wasn't because of who you came in here with, it's not because of who you love, it's not because of, you know, none of those things. It's based on what you brought before me as evidence. It's based on what you're testifying to. It's based on your preparation. Are you prepared or not? Which it brings me to another point. There are a lot of individuals, and I don't want to limit it to just your pro se litigants. That's your litigants that don't have an attorney. Sometimes, even those with attorneys may run into situations where their lawyer perhaps wasn't as prepared as they could have or should have been. And I just feel, though, that again, when you are laying the foundation and getting prepared for that case, this is your day. Now it's the trial day. Let's go. I will feel satisfied if I know that I've given you the opportunity to prepare, again, along the way. Have we had status conferences? Are my scheduling orders or my docket sheets clear on when the times and the deadlines are? Okay, have I provided local rules or standing orders, perhaps, that you all as parties can reference and do your own research? Now, my expectations will be very, very high. You know, this is a court of law.
Because you've given them those opportunities to get ready for it anyway.
And that's my point. So, you know, if you're not sure when the trial date is and you missed the trial date and no one was there to answer the phone when you called and there's nothing on the website to confirm it, then to me that's a problem that rests on the court. But if I've provided you multiple opportunities as litigants,
some reminders at some point.
You know, and again, there's different ways, there's different parameters that are going to be put in place by your district court clerks, okay? The courtrooms are very, very busy. So there should never be an expectation that a judge is walking you through
every process.
There should never be that expectation. Again, regardless if you're bringing a lawsuit or if you're defending the lawsuit, it is incumbent upon you to do your due diligence. But I feel as though it's also important for a court to run smoothly, that they have those those ways for them to go and check out things and see the progress of the case. Is there dates coming up? How does this particular judge like to run his or her court, so that they can make sure they have everything in place before they walk in?
This is beautiful. I feel like if I should have any case, I should just bring it to you right away.
Okay.
But you know,
or as a judge?
you know, you're already making, you know, making me feel very comfortable. Like, okay, if I walk into your courtroom, I'm getting the best out of it, regardless of if I win or not. Okay. You know, justice is served. I'm not walking out with my heads down, having hope that even though I did not win this case, there are ways I could have gone about it. You give me some, you know, some materials, counseling sessions, you know, referrals, things like that. That would help me just in case life happens again.
Yes.
Right?
That's a wonderful way to
well,
say.
You have been wonderful. I won't take too much of your time, but if you will, let us know how can voters contact you? How can, if they have, how can they support you? How can volunteers get out there and say, you know what, I want to support her? Or if there be fundraisers and you probably don't have that information now, maybe in the later time you'll probably have that maybe on your website.
Yes.
How can you be reached? How can your campaign team be reached?
Okay, thank you for that. So again, my name is Dawn Rogers. It will be Dawn Deshay Rogers on the ballot, so look for that name. Again, I'm running for the 334th District Court, 334. And you can find my website at www.dawnrogersforjudge.com. On that website, I have a tab where you can click on there and find out information on how to donate to my campaign. Campaigns don't run by themselves. We are really needing donations in order to get the word out, and that's the goal. You know, as a elected official, I work for Harris County. And so I'm needing Harris County to support me. On the website, you will find out about future events, which I haven't planned yet, but they will be coming. Future opportunities to volunteer, block walking, phone banking, canvassing.
Wow.
You know, there's just a lot to be done. Attending events like this. I mean, you know, when I went to that event the other evening, it was just me. I don't have a big team.
Right.
This is truly grassroots efforts that you're looking at right here. But getting a team of people that where I can't go, they can go, and they can be there in my stead and pass out my information. You know, before we close though, I wanted to talk briefly about voting and making sure that everyone understands that they need to register to vote. If they're not already registered to vote, they've got to. They have until February the 3rd. February the 3rd is the deadline
to register to vote.
Exactly.
So, but if they registered for this last election,
then they're good to go.
They're good to go.
They're good to go.
When is the start date for early voting?
February the 18th, and it lasts until February the 28th.
And then the primaries for when? March
the 3rd.
And so, just so we have a clear understanding also, this is going to be a race for the primaries.
Yes.
So there's an incumbent.
There is.
Right?
Yes.
That's already in place.
Yes.
And so it's just you two, or there are many more?
I don't know yet. The deadline for individuals to file and jump into the race is not until December the 9th.
Okay.
And so I don't know if anyone else will be running for our race.
But so far
there's at least 2 of us. And so that's why the primaries are so important. If you are a Democrat, because I am a Democrat, and if you are, you know, registered to vote, then you can't save your vote until November the 3rd, which is the general election. Everybody thinks about the election for the president, and that's when they want to go out and vote, which is great, which is fine. But a lot of times people stay home during the primary election, and we can't have that. The primary election is when you are making that choice of which Democrat you want to go against the Republican candidate in November. And so I won't get to November if I don't get your vote in March.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Dawn.
you.
Thank you for honoring our invite. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for educating us.
Absolutely.
And you best believe you have our support.
I appreciate that. Thank
Okay.
you so much, Cola. And I appreciate you embracing me and speaking with me and us getting out the vote and let's getting people registered and individuals knowing what to do and doing research to go out and truly make a difference in our society.
Thank you, Dawn. Your vote is your power. It's your civic duty. Go out and vote. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Dawn Rogers. I am a candidate for the 334th Civil District Court, and I am Afrocentric.
Welcome back to my community on Afrocentric Television, channel 15.8. As you already learning for this voting session that we were talking to Dawn Rogers about, I have some more questions, right, as regards to numbers that it matters. Africans, maybe African Americans also, Caribbeans, right? We have this attitude that I work too much. My shift is a 10-hour shift. It's an 11-hour shift or whatever, 12-hour shift. I'm too tired. I can't get out there to vote. I can't do this. How can we get motivated to get out there to vote?
Okay. So thank you for sharing that with me because that was something that I wasn't aware of. I would encourage anybody who, if you're a U.S. citizen, you earned your right to be in our country. You need to take advantage and utilize every opportunity that America has provided for you. And one of those opportunities is to vote. And you're doing yourself a tremendous disservice to not go out and vote, especially when you have opportunities such as early voting. Okay, we talked about it a little bit before, but early voting is a 2-week period prior to the actual election date that's giving you a very wide window of opportunity to go in and to vote without having to wait in all the long lines of the actual primary voting date, which is March the 3rd.
Right.
Additionally, with early voting, say you do have those 10, 12-hour shifts that you were describing, but you live, say, out in the Braeswood area, or you live, wherever.
Jurisdiction.
Exactly. But you work downtown or you work an hour away.
Yeah, I mean, that means I can't get to my jurisdiction before I can vote, right?
No, that's not true. So with early voting, you can go to any precinct
to vote.
In Harris County.
So if I'm working downtown, I live in Katy, but I'm working downtown. So within that time frame,
yes,
early voting, that is,
yes,
I can get to any precinct.
Yes, and vote.
To cast my vote.
Yes, you can. That's why early voting is so awesome. That's why everybody loves early voting because, again, your lines are not as long. You're getting it over with. You're ensuring that nothing will take up. You know what they say about procrastination, right? And so if you're planning and you're waiting and you say, "Oh, I can do it on the 3rd. I can do it tomorrow. I do it tomorrow. I can wait till the actual election date." There could be a plethora of events that take place unforeseen that could prevent that from happening. So we don't want that to happen. But let me read something for you. And I looked this up online, and this is part of the Texas Election Code, Chapter 276. I encourage viewers to, again, do their research, go and look this statute up so you can know for yourself. But I want to read it verbatim. And it refers to voting time off, okay? And it talks about employees and their ability to go and vote when they're working, like what you described. Assuming that an employee has not already voted in early voting. So again, you have that 2-week window to do the early voting. Take advantage of it. Squeeze it in during that time frame. You'll be happy that you did. But assuming that you didn't, the employee is entitled to take paid time off for voting on election days. Now that would be March the 3rd.
On election day.
The actual election date for the primary.
For the primary.
Unless the employee has at least 2 consecutive hours to vote outside of the voter's working hours. Okay?
Let me emphasize on that quickly. 2 consecutive hours. So if most booths are open 7 to 7, right? If I work from, say, 8 a.m. to maybe 6 p.m., right? That means the hours are not back to back.
They're not consecutive, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I get 1 hour in the beginning in the morning, I get 1 hour at night in the evening. That means I can't do it within that time frame. However, if I have to resume work at 9, I can get between 7 and 9, I can get it done.
And still make it to work.
I still make to work on time. And if I also get off at 5,
yes,
I could still get it done.
Yes.
Within that time frame. Now
That's what's in place for you.
Now I understand.
And again, you want to have the conversations with your employers. You want to have the conversations and ask those questions with your HR representatives, with the people that are working there, and just find out and confirm what exactly they have in place. There should not be any reason stopping anyone from going out and voting and performing their civic duty with regard to making sure that the area, the county that they're living in is at its utmost best. That's what voting is all about. Making sure that the officials that you put in place are behaving in a manner and are doing things and are held accountable for the life that you're living.
Right.
And so when you don't take advantage of that, then quite frankly, there's not much room to complain now, is there?
Thank you. Thank you. That's quite informative. You know, I really appreciate that fact that, guys, you can get out early to vote. Right, you have 2 weeks prior to the primaries to get your vote in. Take advantage of it. We'll be right back.
Hey, Afrocentric, this is the way to go. Afrocentric is the place to be.
Afrocentric is the place to be.
Hey, Afrocentric, right, is the place to be.
Afrocentric 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 is the place to be.
Dondolo,
I'm telling you.
My name is Kevin Folikosi from Ivory Coast, and Afrocentric is the place to be.
I am Afrocentric.
Yo, I am Afrocentric.
I am Afrocentric. Yes, I am.
Is the place to be.
I am Afrocentric.
I am Afrocentric.
I am Afrocentric. I am the queen of sleeves and I'm Afrocentric.
I am Afrocentric.
I am Linda Nukwo and I am Afrocentric.
My name is Mazda Dinon, and I'm Afrocentric. And I'm even more Afrocentric. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you so much for everything you have done to us. Thank you so much.
Welcome to CFAX Global Logistics, where your ultimate satisfaction is our goal. We make your shipping needs a worthwhile experience. As a licensed freight forwarder, CFAX Global Logistics offers air and sea freight, procurement and supply chain, project logistics, warehousing and storage services. Call us at 281-820-9000 or 832-593-3067. We offer prompt, effective, qualitative services, and damage-proof delivery is our guarantee. What's more, we offer the lowest competitive rate for your shipment. You can call us at 281-820-9000 or 832-593-3067. So, to ship your next products and goods across continents on the next available flight or ship at a price that can't be beat, come to our office located at 8180 Southwest Freeway, Houston, Texas 77074 for your shipment and logistics services. CFAX Global Logistics, the trustworthy and reliable partner for your logistic need. Are you looking to buy a new or pre-owned vehicle? A sedan, truck, or SUV? Sterling McCall Toyota has got your back. With over 2,000 vehicles in stock, you can get a great deal of a lifetime. Lekon Alalikon. The sales consultant will make that happen. Good or bad credit? Call 832-807-3581. With over 5 years sales experience, Lekon Alalikon will help you navigate through the complexities of buying your dream car. Full service care, 2-year free oil change and tire rotation, plus 36,000 bumper-to-bumper coverage. Just call Lekon Olalikon of Sterling McCall Toyota on 832-807-3581. Better still, come on over to Sterling McCall Toyota, 9400 Southwest Freeway, Houston, Texas 77074. Be sure to ask for Lekon Olalikon to get a special promo deal. 0% on Camry, RAV4, Highlander, and Tundra. Lekon Olalikon. 832-807-3581. Email at lagishin@sterlingmccalltoyota.com.
Welcome back to my community on Afrocentric Television Channel 15.8. I hope you've been enjoying this informative episode so far. First, it was about Ojo Ijakpamura, you know, teaching your kids the beautiful languages of Africa. Especially this one is Yoruba from Nigeria origin, right? Get out there, get the materials. Don't let us lose our culture, our tradition, and our language, especially, to all of these things, thinking we have westernized or Americanized. You know, let's keep it rolling. Don't let's kill it. That's our history. You know, I just wish I could get you all to just subscribe to following her and also get those materials for your children and even for yourselves. And again, our guests, Don Rogers, running for the office to become our judge, District Judge 334. That's the courtroom. I just have to 334. I like that instead of 334, right? So you need to get out there. She's educated us on how you can get out there to cast your vote early, and a whole lot of information that she has shared also. There's a whole lot displayed on our screen that you can take advantage of. Please, 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 let's do this. As Africans, you don't want someone that you can't even relate to, or that will not understand where you're coming from, that will just, you know, prejudged you just because. You want someone, you know, that will have an understanding of where your background, your literacy, everything about you. You want that person in office. So get out there, cast your votes. Until next time, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Afrocentric Television. And Afrocentric is with a K. Follow us on Instagram at Afrocentric TV and on Facebook at Afrocentric TV. Until next time, stay out of trouble. I remain your host, Kola Akinmuyiwa.